All right, yeah, I can put that out there.
A queen legend. Let me help you with that, sir.
You want to do the intro, Nina? Go ahead, Nina, intro.
We have Shy Lady Heroin. She is Baltimore's legend. She is a queen among a pack of kings. She is a community activist. She is pro grassroots and organic. She is for the people. Shh, shh, shh. See, I remixed the sword with the fist. There you go. Introducing Shy Lady Heroin.
Shy Lady Heroin in the building. Welcome to Baltimore Flava Radio.
Thanks for having
Obviously,
me.
no stranger to Radio on Fire, as you've
I was just here last week.
just recently blessed the building.
But I'm not going nowhere. Y'all stuck with me.
I got to tell you this, man. I actually went to bat for you online. As Jen and I were saying earlier, like social media has kind of created this atmosphere where people can feel like they can pretty much just talk about and say anything they want about anybody.
Oh, okay.
And giving them that comfort level because, they're not saying it to your face. So back whenever that was when the infamous video with PFK Boom and our man Jamal Bryan went viral around the world, and you came out and did your little part at the end. And I don't even remember what site that I watched that video on. And in the comment section, you know how the comment section can get on social media.
Of course.
People was like, so who's this? Yeah, everybody was gangsters. Like, so who's this non-rapping, nothing going on in her life, so and so and so and so and so and so. And and I ignored like the first 3 or 4, but then when it kept, and the thing that was making me mad, it was dudes mostly.
Right.
That was just, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that's real manly of you. And after a while, I just like, hold on, let me slide my work to the side. And because, and I don't remember exactly what it was I said, but I was like, okay, I have rappers that I don't like.
Right.
If you don't like her, if you don't like what she's spitting out, her little freestyle about whatever, it's fine and dandy, that's your opinion. But don't keep sitting up here downgrading and talking about somebody that you don't know and have no idea what they're doing in the city. I'm like, this is people that's like from like Texas and Pittsburgh and has no
interaction or involvement.
Exactly.
They're not doing anything.
And no knowledge
Right.
of anything that's going on in this
Right.
city other than what they see on TV. So don't.
Still stuck in the wire.
Yeah, exactly. So don't sit up here and first of all, keep just disrespecting the sister like that. But then don't talk about what you don't know because she's actually
Telling the truth.
telling the truth
In her opinion.
and doing a lot for the city. So I had to take it back.
Well, and I appreciate
Yeah,
that because I'm going to
absolutely.
tell you, I don't pay that shit no mind. I really don't. Like, I just look at it and smoke something and laugh to that. Like, man, they said that. Like, then they all taking that time out just to talk about
Right,
me.
exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
It's cool. And, you got trolls and you got people that literally have no life. And they be the same ones that sit up here and talk shit about you on there because they ain't got nothing better to do. So...
And
it
would
is
be
what
the
it
same
is.
ones giving you props if they ever met you and got to know.
Oh,
That's
they be the
that's
first ones.
thing
Oh
that
my
kills
God,
me.
I'm your biggest fan. All of that.
Shout out to all of those clowns, man. But
Trolls.
yeah,
That's all
clowns,
good.
just clowns.
Okay.
But I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
you
So-
stepping up.
We're gonna first start off and talk about this event. I touched on it a little bit earlier in the show as we were doing the intro, but this Feed the Homeless event Sunday was major, man. It was
Beautiful.
I was
So
like,
beautiful, wasn't it?
I actually, at one time, I actually just stopped and just looked around and kind of like spent around in a circle and was like, wow. All of the food, we had enough food there to probably do it again Monday.
Well,
I'm
definitely
sure.
string beans.
Yeah.
I got 6
String
strings of
beans
string
and water.
beans. Right.
And then I was looking at, just all of the coats that we had lined up and, all of the clothes that were still there. And I think I ended up pulling out about 4:30ish, and it was still people coming, and it was still, and one of the things that you had mentioned there, and Nina has mentioned it, is the fact that you did this with no help from any nonprofits. You
Correct.
wanted to keep this quote unquote organic. So just talk about, your perspective of the event and everything that you did, and man, it was awesome.
Well, first of all, I thank you, and I thank Nina and Charlene, the whole sisterhood. I really thank everyone that got involved in any way, shape, or form. It was just a vision. I just wanted to do something before the year was out, and something bringing us together, something enlightening our people, and something giving back. So initially, it was just like, man, we can help one person. Then we did something. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, then we set a goal, like, all right, let's try to do 100. Let's try to get 100 care packages. Let's try to get enough food to feed at least 100 people. Let's try to feed the children and the volunteers there. So really, it was beyond what I envisioned and what I imagined it to be. I definitely, again, I'm just grateful for everybody that came out and was a part of it. It was so much positive energy. It was so many positive vibes, and it was just a beautiful thing to experience. So I'm just really grateful that it turned out the way that it did. It'll be a lot more coming. I definitely caught a lot of hell turning down the nonprofits. I definitely made some enemies off of that. But it's again, like I might have been the one with the vision, but it wouldn't have happened if everybody didn't do it. So I'm not like, I didn't do it for props. I damn sure ain't do it for no tax return or, you know what I'm saying, tax write-off. It was strictly from the heart. Just something to give back, something that we could do. This was the first gathering that Sword Nation put together as a whole. So we really just wanted to do something before the year was out and waking people up. And again, just a lot of people want to give back and don't necessarily know how. And it's really as simple as it ain't nothing to it but to do it, you know, but everybody doesn't understand that. So the main thing was just to get people involved and let people see. So then, you know, the next time we do things, and there's other organizations that's out here that do stuff that you can get involved with. Yeah, we're big on keeping it organic.
Shelly Helping Hands.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, let me shout out the sponsors again, just because, like, you had Shelly's Helping Hands, you had Dream Bigger Media Group, you had Sonika Imaging, Too Much Management, Knoxville Entertainment, Hard Body 410, Original Party Girl, Sword Nation, Go Nuts for You, Fix Baltimore, Civil Wrong. So it was like hip hop mixed with organic grassroots coming together. And I think in the end, if you a hip hop artist and you really understand where hip hop started, where it originated and why, then you should understand the collaboration between the grassroots and the hip hop, because it's all in one, you know. So again, I'm just grateful that it turned out the way it did.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to you guys doing something else on that level. And the one thing I noticed that you did was you passed out a list for people to, you know,
thank you, Shelly.
The email list. Because,
thank you, Shelly.
Because like you said, if y'all did what you were able to do that day with just the people that you had, and now you can reach out to that many more people, just imagine what we can do. We can have that event at like Raven Stadium, or, you know, in the parking lot or something. It can really be that big. If
Like
you
we
have,
got to do the stadium. Is that, what is that? Corporation.
Oh, never
See,
mind.
that was the trick. We
Yeah.
could have got this done in about 10 minutes, you know, and
Literally.
I do events. That's what I do. So had we let the corporations, the politicians, the businesses that associate with 501c3s participate, it would have been so much easier, so much faster, so much more, probably, money. The thing was, we need to be accountable for our own, we as a community, we as a people.
Yeah.
So that's what the designer's challenge was in this event. How do you do it without getting money from one of these three places? That's what made it a little difficult, but that's what made it a whole lot more better. You know, after we did that, we did it. We did it. And we have to get used to taking care of our own.
Absolutely.
especially now.
Especially now.
Especially now.
Especially
Well, and
now.
we have to remember that beyond our physical being here, that our spirits have been here before, and a lot of times, and so we have, it's like a contract within our soul before we enter this earth, into the physical realm, that we are supposed to give back. Like, that is what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to take care of our people. You got to think, our laws go with the universe, not with man's law. So the laws of the universe, money doesn't matter, buildings don't matter, like none of that was here. So it's for us to give back to our people before we leave, and to impact others' lives and to help them before we leave in the physical realm. So I'm real spiritual, so some of y'all might be listening like, what the hell is she talking about? But it's I mean, you can look into it, like you can read about it. So it's like, this is just for us, and again, not dealing with 501c3s and politicians and tainted souls in that matter, or people who have sold their souls. again, that's why you didn't feel that kind of negative energy there, because a lot of people don't understand when you take that money from the government or you take that grant money. Now, let me first say this. I went to grant writing classes. I was offered $400,000 from a councilman last year, myself and my partner at the time. And that was how I actually learned how things really work. So I'm not sitting up here, I'm not crazy, I'm not telling you nothing that I didn't experience myself. Because at one point, I thought it was okay to take the grant money. I thought it would be okay to do the grant writing and all these different things. And then as I was learning it, I was like, whoa, I can't do this. So that was where it was like, no, like we turned down that money and everything, because when he offered the money, he said, y'all take $200,000 and pay yourselves with that. Use the other $200,000 for the program that you're trying to do. So when they say nonprofit, it's not really nonprofit. You're paying yourself for the work that you're doing with the money that you take from the government. On top of that, when you take that money, there's no such thing as free money. They're not going to give us $400,000 without some kind of compromise. Again, you have to be pushing and working with the oppressor's agenda in order to get that money in the first place. So when you dealing with these big corporations and things like that, if you don't know the history of them, or if you don't know who they're tied into or the type of underground things that they have going on, you don't realize that what you're really doing, again, you are selling your soul when you take that money. So we're real big and we're real adamant on not dealing with anyone that's not just for the people and not doing it for a personal gain. Because again, a lot of these 501c3s, some of the people in them might have good hearts, but they don't realize what they've done. But when you are taking that money and you get that brown envelope and you sign them papers, a lot of times you ain't even reading what you have to do. But a lot of times they want statistics. And again, they focus on our children. Whatever mess that our elders left for us to clean up, whatever mess we working on trying to clean up now, so whatever mess we leave behind is going to be for our children and our future generations. Absolutely. And so on. So it's going to keep going. So until we change these patterns and we change the way that things are going, this is going to continue. So in order to change that, we have to start doing things differently. We have to study up on these organizations. You have to look into who you're dealing with and who they deal with before you deal with them, because once you associate your name with them, now you become whatever they come, whatever they are. So we just choose to keep ourselves separated from that. It is enough people out here that are not affiliated with these organizations. And for the people that are, do your homework and get up out of there. Don't deal with that stuff no more. Give back to the people. Come out of your pocket. You know, cook a meal and just go down there and feed somebody. It don't hurt. You see some corner boys standing out there, get them a meal and talk to them and try to help them find another means. You can't just take a corner boy off the corner without giving him another means of survival. And you know, taking care of his family. So it's just a matter of us loving each other again, embracing each other, caring about each other, and coming together for a bigger cause than any of us as an individual. Because at the end of the day, all this is dealing with our children. And so when they want them statistics, they want you to say that your child got a mental disorder, your child got ADHD, next thing they want your child on them drugs. It's all about money for them. So believe whatever money they giving you, they're getting it back much more based off of the agenda that you're helping them push.
Yeah, getting it in the back.
Did you learn something?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I learn every time I'm in Shai's presence, believe me.
Right. And there's levels that people go through to hide their involvement with a 501c3. You got to research, because it all connects back to something. Yep. And that's the tricky part. Where is it connected to?
Where are you connected to, Nina? Never mind.
Everything. Everything.
Let's talk. Oh, go ahead.
And just to add on to the bottom of the homeless feet. When it was over, we had coats left, we had food left, we had water left. Though it's a whole other piece to that, because you can't just leave it where it is, right, or bag it up and put it in the trash. Like, wow. So we had to find other locations, homeless shelters. We took food under the bridge on Martin Luther King. We had to get all that stuff to somewhere else where it would benefit us. And what I learned in this process is that if our audience is the homeless, a lot of people that we were trying to put stuff in different places, they really do have processes on how you can give them things. We don't take coats, or we only take women's clothes, or we don't take cooked food, we only take raw food. So I was surprised to know, if this is our audience and this is how we're trying to help, that we're all not really connected like we should be. Because if we're trying to feed them, it shouldn't matter how we do it. It's just that we're trying to do it. And then on another note, you had people that spit some shade because we were doing something. I'm thinking if you're trying to feed the homeless and you're trying to feed them and we are, it shouldn't matter that we're separate entities. because the bottom line is we should be able to feed the homeless together, separate, apart. But I want to say this to Baltimore because that's what we do. And it's in other things as well. It's not just this event. If somebody is trying to help, it doesn't really matter what their process is or how they're doing it. We're all trying to do the same thing. So we should be open. We shouldn't be crabs.
And that's if I can just touch on that real quick. You know, like you were saying, that we all have the same common goal. Like, I'm not in competition with anyone when it comes to the music, when it comes to what I do in the community. Our sisterhood is not in competition with another organization or another sisterhood. Again, we are about coming together. So if you here for the same reason, it shouldn't be no shade being thrown, right? Because that's your ego getting in the way. And that's where you need to tone it down some, because honestly, if we helping the people, we made it clear we wasn't dealing with no government, no 50. So you can't say, oh, you doing it for this and you doing it for that. We were strictly doing it for the people, and whoever got involved we were open for anyone to get involved. So even if that is what you do, as long as you're not a sellout, we had it open for you to be a part of it. So it's no need to throw shade. And another thing I wanted to add that we learned, the homeless shelters will not tell them that you're going to be feeding people. You can go to the homeless shelter and give them flyers. But they were like, when we were calling the different shelters to try to get as many people out there to try to feed and clothe as many people as we could, you know, it was, well, we don't relay the messages. You can bring flyers here if you want to, but we don't relay. How hard is it just to say, hey, they're going to be on Fayette and Front Street on Sunday from 2 to 5, right around the corner. You know, go down there and make sure y'all get some food and this and that. So, again, it's like, that's why we like to deal with organic, because when you're dealing with these corporations and you're dealing with, you know, whenever it deals with money, people don't have morals anymore. There's no principles behind this. I just wanted to add on to that. But it was a beautiful day.
So somebody got the word out, because it was a long line when I got there. And this was like 45 minutes before the event started.
Right,
so
but
somebody got the word out.
People live there.
Yeah.
They really are homeless. So it was, when I showed up early, it was already people like sleeping on the benches or hanging out, you know, because that's where they live. And something else I learned is, if you are coming in the house at 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 o'clock at night, you probably can drop something off right there and keep it moving. Yep. You know, it doesn't have to be on. They're always there.
You said you had all those string beans left over. Was it the pan with the white potatoes and the string beans?
No.
That was, oh my gosh. Those string beans were everything.
I didn't get to that. My house smells like string beans. My car smells like. That's why I cut my hair. I kept smelling string beans. I'm like, I think it's my hair. I think it's my hair.
Too funny. So let's talk about this Sword Nation, man. First of all, I love the sweatshirts. I matched y'all a little bit, not intentionally, but I had the same color on. But talk a little bit about what Sword Nation is and what you women are doing.
People thought you was a smord.
Smord.
Smord. They said, "Oh, he with y'all?"
With a big cobra on the front of my sweatshirt.
Right, he was a smord. No, Sword Nation is it's an acronym for Strong Women of Real Destination. So we are a sisterhood. We are about empowering each other, uplifting each other, seeking knowledge of self, seeking and speaking the truth. We are all about everyone becoming entrepreneurs. And I just looked at Yvette comment. I shouldn't have looked at that because she talked about the green beans and it threw me off. But we a sisterhood, and we just all about growing together and helping each other. We a family, and all these sisters are really my sisters. Like, y'all stuck with me for life. When we do this, it's not no temporary. This is for as long as we still here. And then we might meet each other again in the next go round, because I swear I knew y'all before. But it's just, we are about, again, entrepreneurship and giving back to our people. So, anything that we can do to help anybody, we here. And we definitely want to uplift our sisters. We want to help, ourselves and other women be better mothers to our children. We want to be better queens to our kings. We have to start somewhere, because there's so many divisions amongst us. So the best thing that we could do is come together with the common goal of being self-efficient and giving back.
Nina?
As the newest member of Sword.
Yes, the baby Sword. She's the butter knife.
I'm the butter knife.
She's the butter knife.
All of what she said, I'm really impressed with their children, though. Their children have a lot of knowledge. All of them have boys.
There was a lot of little boys running around.
Little boys. And they are like, they know more about my history, my ancestors in the beginning, back in the day, than I do. So I was really impressed with that. They would be a good interview situation.
The little
really
boys?
Yeah,
Really?
the little kings. Yes, they really would. I was drawn to the organization because of their strength. They are strong women of real destination. It's not just a petty, we cute, let's
Right.
take
Right.
selfies type situation. We do actionable items in the community. And again, organically. So if I had to choose between working with this company and working with a black-owned organization or an organization owned by a woman, that's the difference in this. We look within first. You try to get everything that you need in your circle first before you venture out. But each venture, you're really paying attention to what you're doing. It's not just, here's the money, let's go. We are L&G. Black Money Matters
Shout out to
product.
Ellen.
We are conscious of how we spend our money, how we spend our time, how we entertain ourselves. And it's a big educational piece to this, with learning where you're from and learning what a queen is and learning how, and I'm older than all of them. So for me to be taught, and I'm talking about 15, 20 years almost in the middle of that, you know. So to be able to still be open and to learn in this fashion, in this manner, it's really, really, really awesome. I look forward to a lot of the community projects that we have coming up. I look forward to, we share wisdom, you know. Each one of them brings a specialty to the table. We have Charlene with Culture Aerobics. She's in the waiting room.
The one that was scared to get on?
She's not scared. She's
Oh, okay.
just a part of the fan club
Gotcha.
today. We rotate on who
Shout
gets
out
to
to
talk.
Charlene.
I got you, Charlene. I ain't gonna let it come before you clap back. But you know, she's really into the health and the exercise
Right.
piece and the music
She
piece.
did it. She did a great little.
And
set.
she took the music back to our roots, so that
Yep.
all connects together. She has a lot of energy, like a lot of energy. We'll get there.
There's a
one day.
couple of videos of that floating around on Facebook. If you said it was
yeah,
it was
she gets
fun.
it in. You can reach Charlene. Which one of your Facebook pages you want me to tell them? Charlene Jones and Charlene Coomba Jones. And she has that Zumba piece, that culture aerobics piece. And then we have people that are working with us on self-sufficiency. That was the big word that she used that just came across calmly. How you take care of yourself, from gardening to what you eat to how you live. Because a lot of ailments that we have in our community today, they were given to us. There's a cure for AIDS. We just don't have it. A lot of our cancers are coming directly from what we're being fed or sold from our area supermarkets. And there's stuff out there that says if you live in this zip code, you get this kind of food. If you live in this, you get this kind. So cancer is man-made. So growing your own food and eating properly, that supersets that. You know, you got to learn what you're eating. You got to know what GMO looks like on the back of a can. So in that education process, we're learning those type of things, how to eat and grow your own food so that you live longer.
We're also studying law.
And studying
And
law.
they be so mad at me sometimes. They be like, "Shy."
I don't like that part. I like it. It's hard. It's like when you were in school, you were in a school frame of mind. So when I learned the amendments, what's the name of the Constitution? In school, I didn't really, but you still passed. As an adult, having to go through all that information, you have to focus, but it makes more sense once you get it.
But see, you didn't have to pay attention in school because
Right.
when we were kids, we had Schoolhouse Rock on Saturday.
Right. We had cheat
all of
sheets.
that.
We didn't have to read all it. That's what I was telling her, that I never read all this stuff back in the day.
Yeah, Schoolhouse
So,
Rock. That
yeah.
taught us everything we needed to know.
So if we say, okay, this law says such and such and such, we hate this law. How are you going to change as a community, as a world, as a city, as a what, if you don't know the laws? So we had to start from the basics, learn the laws. There's a way to amend the law, but you have to know what the law is to know what to amend, to know what the process is. So things like with what we're going through today, if people learned the laws and they stood together as a whole, some of the stuff we don't have to take.
Nina is on here dropping knowledge.
I got
yo.
knowledge.
Like, who knew?
I got knowledge.
Shaw's been a great influence on you, Nina.
Oh,
I thought you was just
she
a party
did that.
girl.
She did that because there's a you know they
Right,
all
right,
raised.
right.
I think people think the party girl is a party girl 24/7. There's a piece to me that's
Pretty much is at least 23 and a half hours out
well
of the
the
day.
other
so.
half hour. I'm learning
So
stuff.
before we go to a quick break, because I got some more stuff I want to talk about, shout out all of your Sword Nation sisters.
Okay.
in 5 minutes or less. Because I know y'all deep like Wu-Tang.
We believe it or not, we're not as deep as you might think, and that's another thing. We will be looking to expand, and we will be opening up the doors for new members very shortly. But as of right now, it's 7 of us. It's myself, Nina, Charlene, Nabria, Beezy, Kitty, and Jada.
Shout out
So shout out to all the sisters.
Shout
I'm
out.
not even
Shouts out,
getting nobody.
Shout
My
out to
Sword
Kitty.
sisters.
She was out
Meow.
there. Kitty was out there looking like she was ready to go on labor any
We told her to
minute.
have a seat.
Yes,
We told her to sit down.
Like, I don't think you should be out here because she looked like she could have just sat down in the chair and just straight went in. All right,
Yeah,
man,
but that's love.
yeah, definitely. And her little sons, that's my first time meeting her sons. They were
I
on
gotta
point.
love them.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with more Shy Lady Herion and more Nina the Original Party Girl. We're going to talk about Shy, what you're doing with the music, and I want to ask you about this beef that I just found out about recently that you had years ago that I thought was cool. I saw the diss song.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
that
saw the
didn't
diss
come
song.
from me.
And we're going to talk a little bit
escape
about
it.
what Nina the Original Party Girl is doing. We're going to take a quick break. This is Baltimore Flava Radio, radioonfire.com.